Welcome to the channel, everyone. It is great to see you, as it has been a while. So a little while ago, I had a flood in my studio, and as you can imagine, the water did a lot of damage to the structure, but also to my equipment and anything that I was working on at that point in time. So I decided to take a break from YouTube so that I can address that and slowly get things put back together again. I'm not nearly back to the way I was before, but I'm at least at a point where I can start trickling out some videos again. So in the short to mid-term, I'll be trickling out the odd market update video, and I'm also going to be releasing a whole bunch of tutorials. And these tutorials were things that I wanted to get done on the last bull market, but things were just completely going crazy and I could barely keep up with market update videos. So now that we're finally inside a bear market here, things are a little bit more quiet and I can get these tutorials done. And they're going to be tutorials all the way from exchange tutorials, beginners tutorials, trading tutorials, just a whole bunch of stuff. And I'm going to be releasing a ton of that. So you're going to be seeing that popping up on my channel. And in between that, I'm also going to be sneaking out some market update videos for all of you as well. So anyways, in this video, we're going to take a look at Theta, as it's been a while. I know a lot of people that watch this channel watch it because of the Theta market update videos. So I'll take a quick look at the price action. I'll show you what I'm seeing in the short to mid-term and some price levels that I'm watching. Anyways, let's get into it. And here we're looking at Theta up on the daily chart here, where we can see Theta is literally straight sideways for the last several weeks here. And interestingly enough, when Bitcoin was putting in its most recent low, we saw Theta really hold on to that $1 mark. I mean, you can see that region held by several wicks over here. You can see it held here, and even that area getting stabbed by this wick here on the heels of this waterfall to the downside. So pretty interesting level of support for Theta coming in around $1. I mean, I've got this horizontal at $1.04. It's pretty much an approximation, but that dollar level has held quite well. And any rallies that have come off that level have come up in around the $1.50 mark here. So pretty obvious range as Theta just continues to fill this thing out. And I do think that's the most probable scenario for Theta in the short to mid-term. However, what I can also say about that is if Theta does resolve this range, whether that's to the upside or the downside, that's going to be quite telling as to where Theta might be moving next. So if we see Theta coming up to the top side of this range here, around that $1.50 mark, breaking up above it, so we want to see candle body closures, holding on to that area, then that is likely signaling to us that the bear market rally would continue for Theta as well as the rest of the market. And we might even see Theta back up around the, around that $2 mark. So, the lower $2 area. However, I do think that would have to come alongside of Bitcoin having some more continuation to the upside, so we'll have to keep our eyes on that. And even the traditional markets right now, I mean, everything has just been in disgusting bear market territory here for quite some time. So there's lots of things that we'd have to see, besides just the price action of Theta. And, even if it did reach up around those levels, so if it did get up around the low $2 mark and say it put in a pivot point, maybe somewhere around the 200 simple moving average here, it's still just another lower high in the context of this overall bear market downtrend here. So it still wouldn't be necessarily a reversal at that point in time. Perhaps a good tradable target for a bear market rally, but of course the condition for that is resolving this range, and of course looking at what the rest of the market is doing. I'd be getting more excited about Theta if it continued moving above those levels, but I don't even think that's worth discussing right now, as Theta's it's just still living in this range right here. Now, if the rest of the market wants to continue its pullback, let's say Bitcoin wants to come down and test the bottom side of its range, then likely we see Theta back down around that $1 mark. But I wouldn't be looking for much lower than $1 until I see it convincingly close below that level. If Theta starts to close and hold below that level, then maybe at that point in time it's ready for some lower price levels, and perhaps we could be looking down around that 80-cent mark. So if you're somebody that's looking at this and you're not overly concerned about the price action of it, and you're thinking about this as a fundamental player, you have your reasons for holding on to Theta, then perhaps you'd get a better buying opportunity down around those levels. Of course, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, and I'm not encouraging anybody to buy any coins. I never do that. Anybody that has been following my channel knows I just take things level by level, and typically I like the market to reveal itself to me. There's no such thing as a crystal ball in this. There's no knowing for certainty what's going to happen here. A good saying about markets is the only certainty about markets is uncertainties, and that's why I set conditions for myself. It's okay to have a bias and to look at price action and try to get a feel for where things might be going. But at the end of the day, for me to have, a winning strategy, it's to let the market ultimately reveal itself to me. So like I was saying before, Theta could easily just oscillate within this range, filling it out. If you're a trader, you could always look to, long the bottom side of this. You could always look to short when Theta approaches the top side of this range to pick up some short-term gains. with this whole thing. Of course, again, not advice. However, if the range breaks, like, you know, getting above there, for me, that's a condition that's saying, hey, you know what? The range is looking ready to resolve, and perhaps we should be looking for a long position, perhaps up to around the $2 mark. And it's the same to the downside. If it breaks down below that level, then and holds below that level, then to me, it's the market revealing itself that it's likely ready for some lower price levels. And that's just all there really is to it when it comes to that. And that's not even speaking to, you know, fundamentals or to the long term of this whole thing. And of course, it's also dependent on what Bitcoin does as well. So, I mean, nice and simple. For me, when I look at Theta's chart here, I can see an obvious sideways range. Likely to fill it out a little bit more here. But if it is to break either side of that range, then we look for perhaps low $2 to the upside, and we look to the 80-cent mark to the downside. And to me, those would be the next obvious levels, at that point in time. Anyhow, I hope you're all doing well out there. Thanks so much for coming by and checking out this video. I'll be trickling out some more market update videos in the future. I'll be focusing probably a little bit more on Bitcoin and Ethereum, some of the bigger coins. But if Theta, starts to break this range and put in some moves, of course, I'll come back to this and I'll let you know what I'm seeing inside of here. Finally, we have ourselves a bear market, so I have a little bit of time to catch up on some of the things that I wanted to put in place before, such as the tutorials that I wanted to release. It's just me over here doing this pretty much as a hobby, really. I mean, I do all my own editing, all my own, filming, everything you see here. I'm just doing it by myself because I genuinely have a passion for the markets, genuinely have a passion for trading. It's something I do anyways, so it's fun to come in here and to be sharing these videos with everyone. Anyhow, thanks so much for coming by, everyone. Great to see ya. Looking forward to seeing the next one. And until I do, have yourself a powerful day.